Caitlin Clark's the new it. If you don't have a long ball, talking about the 26, 30 feet, if you ain't doing the Steph Curry, you ain't got none of that long ball in your game, yeah, you're going to be behind.
She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls that done it in spurts, but that game I'm watching the Final Four, I'm like, damn, and I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn.
Anyone who follows basketball closely understands that Caitlin Clark has completely transformed the way people view the women's game. Her arrival has felt like a supernova moment for the sport. Even legendary NBA figures who have studied basketball their entire lives have openly expressed amazement at the level of skill and confidence she brings to the court. Because of Caitlin's incredible performances and massive popularity, the excitement surrounding the WNBA has reached heights the league hasn't experienced in years. But the story becomes even more fascinating when the greatest basketball icon of all time, Michael Jordan, finally decided to speak publicly about her impact. Jordan rarely comments on modern players, which makes his words about Clark even more significant. His praise carries enormous weight in the basketball world, and what he said about her could completely change how people view her influence on sport. At the same time, former NBA star Rick Barry didn't hold anything back when he spoke about the criticism Clark has faced. Barry strongly defended her, arguing that much of the negativity coming from certain WNBA players is driven by jealousy and fear of her undeniable talent. His remarks were direct and powerful, sending a clear message to those who have constantly doubted Clark. According to Barry, anyone who questions her greatness simply doesn't understand the level of impact she has already made.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. And anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
Another legendary voice stepped forward to defend Caitlin Clark, and this time it was the legendary scoring machine George Gervin. Known for his incredible offensive talent during his playing days, Gervin did not hesitate to address the criticism directed toward Clark. Instead of staying silent, he made it clear that the disrespect she has experienced simply doesn't make sense when you consider the level of talent she brings to the court. In his view, Clark represents something special for the future of women's basketball, and that kind of talent should be celebrated rather than constantly attacked. Gervin's comments immediately caught attention because they came from a player who understands greatness when he sees it. His message was simple but powerful. Caitlin Clark's impact on the game is undeniable, and the people trying to tear her down are ignoring the obvious. According to Gervin, her skill, confidence, and ability to attract fans are exactly what the sport needs right now. When legends like him speak so strongly in defense of a young player, it sends a message across the basketball world that her greatness is already being recognized at the highest level.
They don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes down. They weren't flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. She remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yeah.
Even if the way Jeff Teague expressed his opinion sounded a bit raw, the central point he was making actually makes a lot of sense. For years, there have been constant discussions about the pay gap in sports and repeated efforts to increase attention toward the WNBA. Yet despite those efforts, the league struggled to attract the level of interest that many people believed it deserved. Then Caitlin Clark arrived, and suddenly everything started moving in a different direction. Television ratings jumped, arenas began filling up, and social media conversations exploded with excitement about women's basketball. Despite all of that positive momentum, Clark still faced a surprisingly tough introduction to the professional level. Teague's argument was that treating the league's biggest new attraction with hostility could actually harm the league financially. In his view, Clark deserved far more support from fellow players and from league leadership. Speaking of controversial opinions, Paul Pierce also played a role in fueling media debates about Clark earlier in the season. The former Boston Celtics star initially questioned her readiness and even sparked heated discussions with comments that some fans considered controversial. Although Pierce later tried to soften his tone and show more respect toward the Indiana Fever rookie, his earlier remarks helped ignite a major debate.
Like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch this shit when y'all leave college, women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's going to happen to the W.
At first glance, the comments made by Paul Pierce might sound respectful toward Caitlin Clark. However, if you carefully analyze the logic behind his statements, it becomes clear that he still wasn't completely convinced by Clark's basketball ability at the time. Pierce suggested that Clark deserved a place on the national team primarily because of her enormous popularity and the attention she brings to the sport. Yet at the same time, he implied that her selection might not be based purely on basketball merit. Of course, anyone familiar with Pierce's personality knows that he often enjoys stirring debate. Since retiring, he has built a reputation as one of the most outspoken voices in sports media. That means many of his comments are designed to spark discussion rather than provide a calm evaluation. Just when it seemed the conversation around Clark couldn't grow any bigger, another huge moment happened. During a podcast appearance hosted by Angel Reese, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal openly praised Clark's talent. The moment surprised many listeners because Shaq delivered his compliments right in front of one of Clark's most outspoken rivals. His message was simple: Caitlin Clark is a special talent, and her greatness is impossible to ignore.
You claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball on the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey guys, this is bigger than the game, which it is. I mean, women's basketball is at an all-time high because of Caitlin Clark.
Being left out of the Olympic roster may have been frustrating for Caitlin Clark on a personal level. However, according to legendary NBA center Dwight Howard, the situation may have actually worked in her favor. Howard suggested that the break from international competition could give Clark valuable time to rest and refine her game. Instead of dealing with the pressure of a global tournament, she could focus entirely on improving and preparing for the second half of the WNBA season. Looking back now, Howard's perspective seems surprisingly accurate. His comments almost sound prophetic considering what happened afterward. Clark returned to the court playing with renewed energy and confidence. The additional rest allowed her to sharpen her skills, and she quickly began delivering some of the most impressive performances of her rookie season.
And I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot. And bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot. Bam. Like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth. So I'm telling you now, you just lower it like this.
After the Olympic break, Caitlin Clark looked like a completely different player. While it's impossible to know exactly how much motivation she gained from being excluded from the team, her performances clearly showed a new level of determination. Instead of letting disappointment slow her down, Clark appeared to use it as fuel. Traveling overseas and potentially spending long stretches on the bench might have disrupted her rhythm. There was also the constant risk of injury that could have affected the rest of her season. Instead of facing those obstacles, Clark returned to the WNBA ready to prove herself again. NBA Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas later offered his own perspective on Clark's rise. Known for his deep understanding of the game both as a player and a coach, Thomas recognized Clark's impact while also hinting that the controversy surrounding her might actually be helping drive interest in the sport.
She is a great player, but it's a lot of players that, no lie, who, as far as basketball-wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her. This should make her go harder in the gym. The 3 weeks that they off, she should get in better shape.
Isaiah Thomas managed to deliver a very balanced opinion. In a single statement, he praised Clark's talent while also acknowledging the complex dynamics behind the criticism she has faced. Thomas pointed out that drama often attracts attention, and the intense debates surrounding Caitlin Clark have certainly kept the spotlight on the league. At the same time, he avoided fully feeding into the controversy himself. Meanwhile, Clark has already built a strong connection with fans in Indianapolis. Still, when it comes to legendary basketball figures in that city, few names carry more weight than Reggie Miller. Miller spent his entire NBA career with the Indiana Pacers and became one of the most beloved athletes in Indiana sports history. Surprisingly, Miller didn't completely side with Clark in the debate. Instead, he emphasized that every rookie must learn to handle adversity and tough competition.
I think it's great what she's done, and I think it's great what the media and the WNBA and marketing and the players are doing because, controversy is not good, but, controversy sells.
According to Reggie Miller, the challenges facing Caitlin Clark are simply part of the transition from college basketball to the professional level. He questioned why so many people seemed surprised that Clark was being tested by experienced opponents. In Miller's view, professional athletes compete fiercely, and rookies must prove themselves against veterans who have already earned their place in the league. He also dismissed the idea that jealousy was the primary reason behind the physical defense Clark has faced. For Miller, this kind of competition is simply the reality of playing at the highest level.
What did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us.
However, the situation facing Caitlin Clark may be more complicated than simple competitiveness. While physical play is normal in professional sports, some observers believe Clark has experienced an unusual level of hostility. It was always expected that opponents would challenge her. After all, she entered the league with enormous attention and expectations. But many fans feel the resistance has gone beyond fair competition. Instead of simply trying to outperform her, some critics appear determined to diminish her impact. Clark's journey therefore represents more than just a rookie learning the professional game. It has become a story about earning respect while also demanding fair treatment in a league that is still adjusting to her massive popularity. NBA legend Magic Johnson also shared his thoughts on the situation.
Now, Caitlin, her teammates got to come to her defense.
Sure.
You can't allow her to have to fight every battle, right? But we have to understand that both Caitlin, Angel, and Brink, who plays for my Sparks, they made the WNBA better. And they're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time. Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time, just like Larry and I.
As a part owner of the Los Angeles Sparks, Magic Johnson closely follows developments in women's basketball. He offered an interesting comparison between the current generation of WNBA rookies and his famous rivalry with Larry Bird during the early 1980s. That rivalry helped transform the NBA's popularity, and Johnson suggested that a similar competitive dynamic could benefit the WNBA today. While he avoided criticizing anyone directly, his comments made it clear that he believes Clark's presence is incredibly valuable for the sport's future.
And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. And now, when I watch her, two things I like. She's playing much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season. First of all, they didn't even give her the understanding, like, you girls been worded for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the nose. She came straight out of college.
Another outspoken voice in the basketball world is Charles Barkley. Known for his blunt opinions, Barkley discussed Caitlin Clark several times during the season. He noticed that Clark appeared much more energetic later in the year, suggesting that early fatigue may have slowed her down during the opening months. As her stamina improved, her scoring numbers and playmaking ability also increased. But Barkley didn't stop there. He also addressed how some WNBA players have treated Clark on the court.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world. Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
Despite his humorous tone, Charles Barkley raised an important point. Competitive basketball is one thing, but unnecessary hostility is another. In several games, Clark was knocked to the floor during plays that appeared unrelated to normal basketball actions. Barkley argued that while competition is healthy, deliberately targeting a player crosses a different line. He also suggested that certain media figures have contributed to the drama by constantly amplifying conflicts involving Clark.
It cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs, she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
Barkley believes the league faces a complicated situation. On one hand, the WNBA clearly benefits from the massive attention Caitlin Clark brings. On the other hand, the league has been cautious about building its entire promotional strategy around one player. Eventually, even Michael Jordan shared his thoughts on Clark's impact, emphasizing that the league should recognize how much she has already done to grow the game.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that, it's at that level. But if you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive, so it's kind of the total package. And her being the breaking that record and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
Former MVP Kevin Garnett also shared his perspective on Caitlin Clark. Garnett believes that facing tough defense and criticism is a normal step in the development of a great player. According to him, special athletes use those challenges as motivation to improve and prove themselves. As Clark continues her career, the respect she receives from legendary NBA players shows that her influence on basketball is only beginning.
Caitlin Clark, go through shit. I'm watching all. Man, rookies, you're gonna go through some shit. And guess what? When you're in, when you got the bullseye on your back, when you in, it's gonna come with some shit. And nobody's hitting y'all with the step back in the high. Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, you fit.